This is the ABCs of the way you go about political corruption cases. Number one, you move up the chain of command. They have Flynn twisted into a legal pretzel. He is DOA. Done. Now they want to move up to a higher target. There are only, in my mind, three higher targets: the president, his son, or Jared Kushner. Think about this. Why would Michael Flynn, who has the Trump card, literally the power of the pardon, walk away from him? The only reason you would do that as a defense lawyer is if you're on Team USA, because it is a conflict of interest to both be working with the federal government and being part of the defense team. It's a no-brainer to me that there's somewhere higher up that they're using him for purposes of cooperation.
Lawyers for former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn telling the president's legal team they are no longer on speaking terms. Not unusual for defense teams to cooperate, and not unusual but for them to part ways at a given point. So, Mike, to you, is there anything we can read into this other than Mr. Flynn's legal team no longer feels it's in their best interest to cooperate with the president's legal team?
You can read a lot of different things into this. You can read that Flynn is protecting Trump. Flynn has been possibly labeled as a spy, somebody who has misled the White House, somebody who has lied to Pence, somebody who maybe can't be trusted. Maybe he's distancing himself in order to protect Trump. Or you could think that perhaps he's going to be indicted as a spy. Either way, you don't know why or if he's cooperating with Mueller in that investigation.
Bob, do you agree on this? Because this morning, especially as this news broke, everybody seemed to point to this as a sort of confirmation bias for whatever narrative they were most interested in.
Yeah, listen, my whole career essentially is as a prosecutor for the most part, handling political corruption cases as a boss. This is the ABCs of the way you go about political corruption cases. Number one, you move up the chain of command. They have Flynn twisted into a legal pretzel. He is DOA. Done. Now they want to move up to a higher target. There are only, in my mind, three higher targets: the president, his son, or Jared Kushner. Now, I'm not saying that that's, we don't know which one that is, but think about this, Leland.
Hold on, but we also don't know that it's any of them. You think about Manafort and Gates, who were both indicted. They were indicted for something that had absolutely nothing to do with the Trump campaign, things that Michael Flynn seems to have done as well.
That very well could be, but the feds are not going to go laterally or down. And think about this. Why would Michael Flynn, who has the Trump card, literally the power of the pardon, walk away from him? The only reason you would do that as a defense lawyer is if you're on Team USA, because it is a conflict of interest to both be working with the federal government and being part of the defense team. It's a no-brainer to me that there's somewhere higher up that they're using him for purposes of cooperation.
So, Mike, how is it that there's so much being read into this that seems so different? One of you saying that no matter what, you can't read anything into it. It could be anything, and you seem to say, screen right, that you're for sure that they're moving up the food chain.
Well, I don't think anybody knows where we're going. As you said, when Manafort was indicted, that was on financial crimes. We know that Flynn has his own financial troubles and misdeals with allegedly with Russians, and he tried to hide that. So I don't know that we're going up the chain of command. I don't know that anybody suggested that Trump or anybody in his inner circle has been implicit with Flynn in any way, shape, or form. I think politics makes strange bedfellows, and we're going to find out where this is going in the next few weeks.
Bob, that's what I keep trying to get at here. There's a lot of speculation that it could mean they're going up the food chain, but based on the facts we have, there's no way to prove that, much less the preponderance of evidence, certainly not beyond a reasonable doubt.
Leland, it's a part of what prosecutors do. Of course, we don't know exactly. But remember, in the beginning of this whole thing, Flynn's lawyer did that unusual thing where he reached out and said, hey, if you give me immunity, we got an unbelievable story to tell. Every defense lawyer knows that you need to move up in terms of the personalities and characters in the story, not laterally. Flynn is in some serious trouble. There's a lot of smoke here, a lot of loose ends that are being connected. The obstruction charge with regard to the filing of Comey, the interview at Lester Holt afterwards. There's a lot of contacts with Russians, other foreign nationals, money being exchanged back and forth. The feds aren't interested in lateral financial crimes with regard to Flynn. They're looking to move up the campaign trail, in my humble opinion.
All right, so back now where we began, Mike, if that seems to be the most likely scenario that Bob just laid out, if you're the president's lawyers, you don't necessarily know what is happening, right? You may think that Flynn's turning state's evidence. If you're the president's lawyers, you're playing this hand blind. Right. What is your best move now?
I don't know that there's anything that he can do. You're talking about a historical case. So you're talking about things that have already been done, things that are already known, things that other individuals have already testified to. So there's really nothing Trump can do other than distance himself, watch for his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, to not be prosecuted. And, you know, you have to look at Flynn. Who is he protecting? Is he protecting himself? Is he protecting his son? So you're going to start to build your evidence against him that if you feel that he's going to testify against you, that he's not to be trusted, that he lied to the White House, he was dishonest with Pence, that no matter what's coming out of his mouth, he's not telling the truth. You can mount your defense at this point in time.
I'll make a prediction what he's going to do, the defense is going to do here, Leland. It very well may be that this campaign was completely chaotic, and it would not be unusual that the person at the top of the campaign, i.e. Donald Trump, had no idea of the nefarious feather nesting that was going on with the underlings in his campaign. It's perfectly possible. So watch right now where you'll hear them talk about a more chaotic campaign, disjointed campaign. In other words, he didn't know.
Well, all right. And we heard a little bit of those talking points from Corey Lewandowski as he talked about this this morning. Gentlemen, appreciate your insight as always. We'll watch it.